I have a problem, and this is how I've chosen to deal with it. I don't even remember buying this. Actually, that's not true. YouTube told me I needed most of this stuff. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Outdoor Mishaps. It's raining pretty bad today. I'll show you a clip. And since I'm not fishing, I decided to finally go through all my tackle. And it's making me realize something. When I started trying to get better at inshore fishing, instead of learning the tools that I already had, the lures, the rods, the kayak, instead of learning all that stuff, I just bought more. If I'm not catching fish, it's not my kayak positioning, it's not the way I'm casting, it's not the lure presentation or the wind or the tide or anything like that. It's the lures that I'm using. And nothing could be further from the truth. And so I bought more stuff. I bought more paddle tails. I bought more topwater plugs. I bought popping corks. Guys, I've never used a popping cork. They may be great. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying anything against them. I've personally never used a popping cork in my entire life. I have a box full of them. Never used them. And I wouldn't just stop there. I would get a new color, a different size. I have lures that are 8 different shades of white. It's a white lure. Now you understand this isn't a lot for a lot of people. This is a minuscule drop in a bucket for a lot of people. See, the problem is none of this happens all at once. I don't just walk into a tackle shop and say, give me a lure in 47 different shades of white. It happens bit by bit. As I watch YouTube, as I listen to the Salt Strong people or listen to Justin Menendez or Fishaholic, I obviously need that bait that they're throwing. I need the newest NLBN. I need the newest Slam Shady. I need the Skinny Lipper. I need all this other stuff. It happens slow. You're discouraged. You don't catch any fish on one trip out, so you go to the tackle shop. I've done it. I've done it 100 times. Obviously, or you jump onto Amazon. I need this lure. I need that lure. That's the way it all happens. But look at this. And I'll admit, some of this is from my bass fishing days. But look. These are white paddle tails here. White 4-inch Slam Shady paddle tails. The color is Slam Shady. It's a Salt Strong thing. Here, I've got jerk baits. Let me open them up. Problem is, some of this is stinky too. Why do saltwater fishermen fish with such stinky stuff? Different colored white baits. Pink baits. More white baits. Green baits. And I can see why you need a white bait, why you need a sparkly bait, why you need a dark bait. I understand that. Water color, water temperature, water depth, all of that stuff. I get it. My point is, I've got too much tackle. I don't want to take all this with me throughout the day because as I'm fishing, I'll make 5 casts with one thing, think that's not working, I'll cut that off, tie on another thing. Make 5 casts with that, that's not working, I'll cut that off and tie another thing on. And then before you know it, instead of fishing, I'm just throwing a tackle shop at the fish that are there. And then wondering why I'm not catching fish. I don't catch any fish. It couldn't possibly be my lure presentation or my kayak positioning or the tides or just the fact that the fish may not even be there. And I'll be honest, this is where I've started wondering, am I taking too much tackle with me throughout the day, with me when I go fishing? My kayak crate, and I've still got stuff in it. I didn't take it all out. But my kayak crate is filled to the brim. And I want to take less. I think if I took less, I would be a better fisherman. But that's my question. Is taking all this stuff making me a worse fisherman? Just because I have a whole tackle store of options out there doesn't mean I'm going to be a better fisherman, if that makes sense. So because of these paddle tails, I have a greenish color with a gold fleck. I have the Slam Shady color, and that's a 3.5 inch. In here I have the, I believe it's 4-inch Slam Shady color, and the power prongs. That's what I catch most of my fish on. That's what I catch my redfish on. That's what I catch the very few snook that I catch on. That's what I catch almost everything on, are those few lures. So why am I bringing all of this stuff? Why am I bringing popping corks if I never use them? Why am I bringing these stink baits that I have in a special box if I never use them? And the reason I catch more fish on these lures is because they're my confidence baits. They're the baits that I go to when nothing else is working. They're the baits that I have tied on when I arrive at the ramp, and they're typically going to be the baits that I have tied on when I leave the ramp. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a mess. Stinky baits. See, dried up. Why do I even have this? Why do I have this? Trash. I'll put that right there. There's even more stuff in this box that I didn't even get out. More Slam Shady colored lures. All right, so let me show you what's actually in my crate right now before I start getting rid of everything. Have some suntan lotion, fish grips, a little clippy thing so I can anchor myself, which I never use, so why is that in there? A little light in case I go out at night. 2 monofilaments for leader, scissors, and more big shrimp lures. Every time I go out, guys, I'm like, I'm going to use these. But then when I get ready to tie them on, I'm like, well, is it shrimp time of year? Wouldn't they be hitting whitebait this time of year? Isn't winter and fall more big shrimp time? I don't know, but they're here. So today I'm going through everything I take fishing with me, and I'm going to have one rule. If I don't use it, if I don't have confidence in that lure, I'm not bringing it. Guys, have you ever watched Fishaholic? I forget the guy's name. I just know his channel name, Fishaholic. If you've ever watched him, sometimes he brings a tackle box. A lot of times it seems like he just has something on the side of his kayak, like sitting in the little trays on his kayak. And he's like, I'm going to try this today. And that's all he's got. I got pliers there. They usually stay in my boat, so that's where that goes. So let's go through what I'm going to put in my crate. And that's all I'm going to put in my crate. So this is going to go in my box. This is my baits. It's got the paddle tails. It's got some Slam Shady color. It's got some pink color. There's even a pink fluke in here. It's got my hooks, that sort of thing. So that's got to go in the box. I have confidence in all of these baits, all of these hooks. So that's going in. This going in here. This little plastic bag is going to be most of my soft plastics. Some scented jerk shads. Some smaller Slam Shady paddle tails. And my shrimp lures. That's all that's going in there. I want that green color. All right, so I'm going to bring a couple packs of the Slam Shady, the 3.5 inch. And then I need to get some more of these. The Gold Digger 3.5 inch. It's like a greenish paddle tail for when the water is kind of murky. There's that. Those are some big top waters. See, that's what I mean. I've got so many top waters. And look at this top water. And it might be a perfect big snook top water, but look at that thing. The Yozuri 3D 120F popper. I don't need to bring that. So when would I throw this? This is itty bitty. The hooks on it aren't going to hold any kind of fish. You think any inshore fish, unless it's a snapper, is just going to swallow this whole? When would I throw this? Gone. Watched a video, and it said chatterbaits are good for redfish, snook, that sort of thing. So what I've done, oh good, I thought I lost that. Look at all this crap. So I'm bringing my Moonwalker. You can see I got a line on it still. I'll cut that off in a second. But I also have some chatterbaits in here. I'm going to take those because I want to try those. I fish a lot of areas that's got a lot of seagrass, a lot of potholes, and I want to try those. And then I also have some jig heads in here in case I don't want to go weedless, in case I wanted to get down quick. Maybe I'm fishing by docks. I don't need to go weedless. I can tie a jig head on. So I'm going to keep this in here too. I am going to put my top waters back in here though, and my twitch baits. I can put a twitch bait in here too. Salt water. And then I think I'll do some, these are kind of big, some jerk shads, just because sometimes they don't want paddle tail. They're looking for something more finesse, and I think a jerk shad could fill that niche rather well. So there you go. I got my terminal tackle in there. I got my soft plastics in there. Man, I'm gonna feel naked. I'll bring the clips, bring my fish grips, suntan lotion, a light. This is 20 and 40 pound. And that's it, guys. That is all I'm bringing. So I'm slowly starting to figure out that becoming a better fisherman probably isn't going to come from owning more fishing gear, more rods or more lures or whatever the case may be. But it's going to come from understanding the gear that I already have, learning where the fish are, learning how they behave, making better casts, and spending enough time with just a handful of lures so I actually know how to fish them. And yeah, I'll probably still buy stuff I don't need because, hey, I'm a fisherman. Let's not get ridiculous. And this is what I'm going for. Much smaller selection, much less to choose from. I'm not saying everybody has to be a minimalist by any means, but I think when I slow down and when I start learning the lures that I have, I think that'll make me a better fisherman overall. And when I'm not focused on tying on different lures or digging through my tackle box to see what else I've got that the fish might want, maybe I can focus on something else, like what's the water doing? Is the water movement? Is there bait here? Is there structure here? I can focus on fishing. I can focus on learning how to inshore fish. All right, guys, well, that's all I have for this video. If you like this kind of content, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Even leave a comment. That all helps the channel out. So until the next mishap, I'll see you on the water.